January 16th, day 136 of Everydays. And today I'm going to be exploring ChatGTP and really messing around with the language model. So I've been wondering, can ChatGTP help me learn Japanese? For those that don't know, I've been studying Japanese. I spend about an hour or so a day learning Japanese. I've got a tutor. I've been to Japan. I've been at it for about a year and some change. And, I'm still very much a student, but it's one of those things where you have to work at it daily. And I had this idea to let's see if ChatGTP could help me with this. Now, if I don't have ChatGTP, what I would be doing is I would be using books, online resources, and some of that stuff's expensive. Online resources, they usually come with a monthly fee. The books, you have to find a great starting book. Then it's not you're reading from left to right, and so that's also something you have to get used to. And then you might not know everything that's going on, or the story might not be that fascinating to you. So what I like about this whole concept of using ChatGTP is I can take an idea, give it to ChatGTP, and it can come back with a story that should be interesting to me. And let's see, we're going to tweak this a little bit. Can you write me a funny short story about video games in Japanese hiragana, and give me a list of the most important words translated into English and Japanese. So let's see what it is. So already we've got some hiragana, some kanji. So this is a little, I guess the video games things threw it off. It's not a simple story. But it is, it's hiragana and katakana, so in theory you should be able to read it. It breaks it down. Oh, wow. So the only thing that I think you would have to really know is some of this stuff is not necessarily going to be correct, but because you're just getting your reps in on the language, it doesn't matter. But this is pretty bomb. I also tried this before, and here's a short story in hiragana. This was a little bit better because it only used hiragana, so there's no kanji in this, and this would be really great material for someone that was just learning how to speak Japanese and get into it. So what I find fascinating about this is you really could use ChatGTP as a teacher. In the same way that people use Duolingo to study a language every day. Let's say you're going to read something, every day, and you want to get exposure because that's going to build your vocabulary and basically your general understanding of the language. You could potentially work with a solution like ChatGTP. This could actually be its own app. I would be prompted to start a startup in this realm. I'm not gonna do it, but this is not a bad place to be because you could just have simple Japanese stories in hiragana, and that could just be a whole website in itself. And then you can categorize those stories. You have the most important words in the story translated in English and Japanese. And so for anybody else that wanted to learn, Japanese and wanted your notes per se, this is a great way to do that. And this isn't only applicable to Japanese. You can do the same thing with Spanish, Mandarin. You can do it with probably Arabic. And, this is something for people that just want to get started and get exposure to a new language. You definitely could do that. So that's my everydays for today. For the people that watch this, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be changing the format of everydays. I love writing. I love creating content. But the most important notion of everydays is to have a space where I can capture ideas about the future. And really, I want to get away from the theoretical and more so to the tangible. So I want to be able to do use cases and demonstrations like what I'm doing here, but do so in a way where it's quick, it's refreshing. You can look at it and you can say, oh, wow, I never thought about that use case, or I never done this. And the thing about every day is I do want it to be approachable to an extent where it's it's accessible to someone where they can pick this up right where I left off and start implementing it in their everyday lives. Now, that's not always going to be applicable, and sometimes I'm going to cover things that you just might not be able to use just because of accessibility, or it's just not there. But I really want this to be more of a show platform versus a tell platform, and it's difficult. I'm on 136 days of doing this, and I don't have all the answers, but this is a part of the creative process where you're putting things together and you're looking at it and you're saying, oh, wow, like this could be something. So with that being said, I'm going to jump out of this. But yeah, if you've got questions or feedbacks or inputs, I'd love to learn more about it, because this is a fun ordeal. It's really difficult to do this, especially when you're in transit, like I have been the last few days. But I do really care about it. It's something that's near and dear to me, and that's why we're sticking to it every day. So it's evolving, but this is how I learned Japanese, using an AI software known as ChatGPT. Man, these LLMs are going to take over. I'm telling y'all.